Berserk. Does it feel wrong to not start it with a good old Berserk? Yes, today we are going to be going ahead and finishing Deluxe Edition Volume 9. Two quick things before we do. One, yes, I updated every single Berserk title in my entire playlist to include which chapter numbers are covered. I'm really sorry that wasn't there to begin with. It was a dumb oversight on my part. But now, yes, it's much easier to catch up, watch in order, or go back and see specific sections you wanted to see covered. I'm really sorry about that. And the second thing is I have heard you. A lot of people have been telling me this is not the Death Knight and I should call him by his proper name, and I will be doing so from here on out. Henceforth, he shall be referred to as Sir Pinky. But we pick up in chapter Demon City, after the events where Guts has just escaped his fight with a giant diamond dragon in his new Berserker armor. We cut away to seeing a city just covered in gore. Just so much gore going on, and it becomes a plot point that's reiterated throughout this chapter that there is just piles of bodies. Now that this city is underneath the control of the foreign invaders, just the local populace being butchered. But hope is paddling on into the city because through some waterways we see some aid has arrived. Laban, leader of the Midland Arklow Knights, has arrived to meet with the rebellion within the city. They insist that they are only a rebellion in name, only able to scurry about the city, not managing to make any serious difference. They tell Laban about how the city is coated in corpses, fountains filled with heads, churches with the hanging. The men of Windham who resisted were killed, and those arrested, regardless of social status, were sent to the battlefield as war slaves. The women were marched into the castle, apparently to be used in some bizarre Kushan ritual. Whether they still live is unknown. Those left are the powerless, the elderly, and children. That's horrendous. But one piece of good news. Princess Charlotte is alive. She is imprisoned in the highest level of the Tower of Rebirth. Is that true? It is certain. We lost many lives to learn this truth. If the princess is safe, if the royal bloodline is unsevered, there's still hope. Midland might be saved from the brink of downfall. But just as this representative of the rebellion reveals their face, showing they were a part of the previous king's entourage, the bald guy who didn't like Griffith, that's him, right? Something emerges from the water. A reptilian beast, some form of hybrid between crocodile and human. And I swear to God, if I have someone in the comments saying, actually it's alligator, I'm gonna smack you. It seizes one of the soldiers with Laban, crushing it in its maw. The new arrivals and the rebels flee. Laban having explained to him that ever since the Kushan took over the city, a fog has consumed all, and beasts have begun running rampant in the streets. The local populace is afraid to even go outside. But just as they manage to escape the literal sewer crocodile, an elephant man turns the corner. It's not scary. It's intimidating, but I kind of want to pet its belly. Pinned between the two creatures, it seems like our party is captured until arrows rain down from above, killing the two creatures. As one of the leaders of the Band of the Hawk emerges from the fog. Citizens of Windham, wait patiently. In due course will the miasma covering the city be swept clean. A strong wind will blow. Who are you? As I am charged with a mission, I must now go and make ready for the tempest the hawk brings. What did he? The hawk! But a new voice takes over the narration.
I feel them, several inhuman presences, trespassing in my domain. It's futile. Within this fog, all lies in the palm of my hand. But come to my demon castle, Vanguard of the Hawk.
I don't know why I make the Emperor talk slow, but I feel like that adds weight and menace. And we cut to seeing the Emperor on his throne, the members of the Baraka clan kneeling before him. We see they are reprimanded for not being able to kill or capture Griffith yet. They have their mission reduced as a result, now only being sent to spy at a distance and keep track on the movements of the Band of the Hawk. But we begin seeing these elite Baraka begin expressing traces of doubt towards their Emperor, though the leader of the party puts down such talk, saying, "Restoration of the Empire has been our clan's dearest wish for centuries. If we let this chance slip, we will continue to pass on to our descendants bitter, aimless days spent wandering foreign lands. I spoke unwisely. Enough. But Indeed, the great Emperor Ganishka is a dread emperor. From here we see the emperor goes to see Princess Charlotte. We see she's been given crochet supplies to keep herself occupied. When the emperor comes in, he tells Princess Charlotte it is now her duty to bear his child. And I've actually heard about this. I think it was Genghis Khan, though don't quote me on that. This is something I'm like half remembering from a history class, who did something similar where after he would conquer someone, he would then like put his bloodline in with theirs. And so that way his control of the people he conquered would become a part of their nobility and much harder to do away with. Please check the comments section to see if there's someone smarter than me correcting it. He begins his assault on Charlotte, but she resists and actually calls out for help from Lord Griffith. This causes the emperor to freeze. What's this? And he notices what Princess Charlotte has been crocheting. Images of Griffith again and again.
Interesting.
And here we see the first traces of a massive mouth hidden underneath the emperor's beard.
Conquering this kingless kingdom is simple, but I've grown a bit tired of war. I thought having that young girl would provide me with some entertainment, but who knew she had some connection to the hawk? The appearance of the hawk, it signifies the transfiguration of the world, and cleaving to the hawk is surely paramount for us inhumans. It is like drawing near to and being embraced by God. But I am the great emperor of the Kushan Empire. I control the vastest territory in the world. I won't relinquish it, even if it's blood-smeared and defiled. This world belongs to me. I'll reign over this unclean world as a demon king and rebel against God.
And here we see once again that horrific little grin. The members of the Baraka are moving through the city, but their leader senses a disturbance, turning, noticing another of Griffith's leaders. Snuck up so easily. How the Baraka have fallen. Raxas, why are you here in Windham? On orders to assassinate the Emperor? If so, you are the careless one, an assassin who reveals his presence. That's not what I've come for today. A sound is heard by the members of the Baraka, and a cavalry charge enters the city. Head of the Hawk, if you're going to talk big, do it after stopping me. Follow him! And we see Raxas begin running through the city, the members of the Baraka chasing. A report is brought to the Emperor of intruders within the castle.
I know. Give them a warm welcome.
And here we see the women of the city being torn to pieces by more of those alligator creatures. Dad, if you're still watching these Berserk videos, can you give me like a 1 to 10 on what you think of Berserk so far? I think my audience and myself would be interested in what you think as well. I just want to know. We see hundreds of Kushan archers are raining down arrows in the invading cavalry, but their thick armor seems completely unfazed. They're able to charge through swaths of soldiers with ease.
So indeed, human soldiers are no match for inhuman opponents.
And we see the Emperor is luring Griffith's soldiers towards his elite demon soldiers.
Daka, soldiers like demons from hell I bore through sacred hearts.
I am Lucas, captain of the band of the Hawk's Lancers. I presume you to be His Majesty, the Great Emperor.
I am indeed the Great Emperor Ganishka of the Kushan Empire. Welcome to my demon castle, valorous soldier of the Hawk. But no matter how superior each of you is a warrior, invading this castle with your number is too reckless. I can only term it foolhardiness, or is the order of the Hawk to gauge my power.
I ask this not as a man, but as an apostle. Why do you oppose the Master?
Say so, you knave. I am the Emperor, king among kings. I have trampled more beneath me than any other in this world. I am the one and only fundamental in this world of filth. To take that from me, it would be paid for in blood. Even if it be by God come down to earth, I will never turn and run. No, with my own blood-drenched hands, I will be the one to take and desecrate God.
Okay, here's the thing. I have to, as a fan of this series, if Guts didn't exist and I was just shown this narrative of Griffith versus this guy, and I had to be like, whose side are you on? Maybe an unanswerable question. Just die is probably the best answer you could give if you had to be like, oh, I'm being drafted to one side or the other. Nah. I do find this angle, though, of having like derision within this darkness and evil to be fascinating. And it makes sense, though, with the characterization that we've seen for these demonic figures. They do have ego. They do have like humanity to them in the sense of like how Greek gods did. They are flawed. And so I like the idea of one of them being like,
no, I'm not going to kneel to Griffith. I have built up my own force and power, and I am worthy of actually taking him on.
And for some reason, I also, just in my gut, get the sense that for this demon emperor, the Dread Emperor, if he does lose to Griffith, which I think he will, obviously, it would be like going out in a way that he finds respectable, worthy of him. It's the ultimate statement of ego to be like, yeah, I can go against God, and if you lose to God, that's the one person where you can be like, yeah, it had to be God to take me down. I do want to clarify, I believe they were referring to Griffith as a harbinger of God's will. So when he's saying he's going against God, he's not referring to Griffith as God, he's referring to what Griffith is serving, right? I just want to make sure I'm getting that clear. But we cut back to seeing the members of the Baraka chase Griffith's cloaked lieutenant, the leader of the Baraka, wondering if they're being lured somewhere. But instead, they're just taken to a temple. This cloak of Griffith's clearly being sent on a scouting mission to see how the demon soldiers are being made. And what we see they're doing... Has anyone else seen Society, the movie Society and the shunting, you know what I'm talking about? If you've seen that, that's pretty much what we're seeing here. And if you haven't seen that, go watch Society. It's totally a normal movie. You'll love it. But we're seeing pregnant women of the city are being lowered into demonic pits. The energies within the pits causing the babies within their bellies to turn into beasts, clawing their ways free from the womb. The leader of the Baraka says, illicit sorcery. Griffith's spy notes, of course. They're using apostles to birth demons. Those apostle body interiors are linked to the beyond. They're patched together, still alive and filled with amniotic fluid. When the pregnant women are submerged, the offspring are infused with evil. Demon children are born. Raksas, just how... What do you know? Well now, I'll tell you this one thing. The one who is your keeper, he is truly a demon king, not a man. The leader of the Brachus is seen by one of the workers. He leaves thinking, Dread Emperor, what has he done? Does this mean he's opened the gates of hell? And we see the battle between Griffith's men and the Emperor's commences. Griffith's soldiers take on their true forms, armored beasts from another world. The Emperor notes,
a creature claiming both armor and horse. The attire, I'd say, of a demon knight.
Do not think that these rank and file stand to slaughter us, war demons. And the Emperor's soldiers are clearly no match for Griffith's. Band of the Hawk Lancers, forward! And we see more of the hybrid animal beasts join the ranks of the Emperor's soldiers.
A demon dinner party. Certainly a fitting spectacle for this demon castle.
And we see the leader of the Baracas comes back and witnesses this battle, clearly in shock at seeing what the forces of the Emperor are now composed of. And I really like this angle of the Kushan being set up. It gives them more character, more agency to actually have within their society. Now some people pulling back due to the shock of seeing what exactly is within their forces. I really don't like it in fantasy when cultures are just painted with being like totally unified and no politics of their own just because they're not the central one. And that's actually really why I love the Shan-Chan from the Wheel of Time, who are also a foreign invading power that has like dynamics and derision with their own ranks. Just that little bit of extra character detail could make a nation go from just feeling like, oh, these are the bad guys we're gonna fight, to, oh, wow, they could have a story of their own told from their perspective that would be just as fascinating as the main narrative, the one you're reading. It makes you almost want like the Flip series. But we see the true assassin sent to test the Emperor is revealed, and it's the archer from within Griffith's forces. He fires a shot, but the Emperor's body warps around it.
Such impotence!
And we see the Emperor take on a gargantuan, billowing form. He looms over the city itself.
Heed my words, pygmies. So proud of what little evil you harbor within you. feel the touch of true power.
And he unleashes an attack that consumes both forces. The leader of the Bracas thinking, Demon King, no. The power of a demon god.
All who enter this demon city are like insects writhing in the palm of my hand. Your puny goal will not be achieved. Obey me and surrender now.
Are you sure about that?
A futile retort.
But we see a shadowed wing silhouetted by the moon over the Emperor's shoulder. We cut to Princess Charlotte, who is compulsively still crocheting Griffith. She's put to bed, but resumes her crocheting once left alone, seeing the visage of Griffith through her crocheting before noting he's actually there. She thinks it's a dream until Lord Griffith takes her finger, noting blood from where she stabbed herself in the needle, and kissing it. We see Charlotte gathers her loyal servants, taking them into her bedroom, making them cling onto the bed before the roof is broken in. Griffith's forces are ordered to retreat. They bulldoze their way through the city, escaping outside the city walls.
Why did they retreat? And why so suddenly? With that much charging power, they might have been able to breach my forces. No, it's likely. So why? It couldn't be.
I just noticed that I think the Emperor pulled in the fog from the city to take on this form. Am I misseeing that? But it looks like the city's not covered in fog here, and instead there's just dust from where those people broke out. So do you like pull it in? I'm curious. But the Emperor turns to the tower, seeing the hole in the roof.
Damn you! From the sky where the fog reaches not, you deceived me!
And we see Nosferatu Zod has broken through Princess Charlotte's roof, snatching up her bed with Griffith riding the beast above. And I love this so much for its clear parody of like, oh, the knight coming in on his noble steed to rescue the princess in the tower from the horrible creature. Except what just saved her is the most evil that's like ever existed, and it's not riding some noble steed, it's riding Nosferatu Zod. This feels like a joke being worked into the narrative, and I really think that's funny. Especially because Princess Charlotte herself, as the princess, is kind of crazy in her own right. But here we cut to maybe my favorite character beat in Berserk, maybe so far I've read this year. I'm so excited to read this chapter. We see Isidro is running into the ocean waves. He strips off his shirt before jumping into the waves and being pushed out, coughing up on the beach. The party notes how he grew up in the mountains, so seeing the sea for him must be incredible. Some banter going back and forth. Shriek is distracted, noting Guts. Guts is looking at his own hand, seeing it shaking. I'm new to manga still a bit, but I think this means shaking, right? When it's got like those lines around it. I think so. Guts, are you alright? My body's not all that delicate, don't worry. But you really should take off the armor and rest for at least 4 or 5 more days. The talisman your mistress carved into this armor and that necklace of Casco's aren't meant to hold up forever, right? I've already been laid up almost a month. You can't waste any more time. The pain definitely doesn't fade as much as it does when I'm fighting. But still, thanks to this thing, our journey won't be delayed. Even the wounds are a lot better thanks to your strong medicine and the bugs. Don't be negligent, that armor is cursed. You could end up going berserk in battle again. If it comes to that, I've got myself a reliable magic user. But it's still reckless. It really was dreadful after that battle. The armor ate into his body for days, unable to be removed. The bleeding continued. When we finally removed it, the sharp pain made him repeatedly slip in and out of consciousness. Each time, the wounds would open again. No matter how robust he is, if a mere human is to exchange blows with those monsters, for that he must, while still human, become a monster. But at time in Quiplath, if something like that happened again, no, even now, his survival's not guaranteed. I don't know if this is really the... This is nice, huh?
And we see Guts is watching Isidro and Casca play in the waves.
I never thought again. Never could I watch the sun set and be this calm. Never again could I sleep the night through. Oh my god! Oh my god! Guts is having a good day! Guts is having a good day! It's such a beautiful moment. It's like the greatest thing ever. Guts took a beat to just look at a woman he loves being happy, playing with a friend of his, and enjoy a moment. Holy shit! I never thought I would ever be so happy and relieved just to see a character go, This is nice.
Wow.
That actually, like, when I first read it last night, made me get, like, mildly teary-eyed. But we see Serpico calls off the party saying, "Everyone, let's fend off the sea breeze up there for the night." And here we cut to seeing Guts' wounds being worked on. It's noted that he's lost weight, the armor feeding on his body. His equipment has also had some alterations done to it. But we hear Puck talk of Elfhelm, a utopia amidst the sea, far to the west. The flowers blossom, the birds sing, and the elves dance the day away. Elf hell. Not elf hell, elf helm. It's swarming with guys like you, right? I've heard of it from my mistress. On a legendary island in the Western Sea, an island called Skellig. Like the forest of the spirit trees, it belongs to the Intersis, so it's unrecorded in that area of the ocean. A regular human can't reach it. It is said that many magicians lived with elves on that island. I've always wanted to see it once with my own eyes. But after Shriek and Isidro are done with their banter, Lady Farnese interjects, saying, I have an earnest request to make. Lady Farnese, what did you just... Would you be willing to teach me magic? Whoa there, Guts says. And this is, okay, I'm reading too much into things, but I gotta say it. Having a simple remark like that from Guts where he's going, whoa there, and just like observing evolution of character growth within his own party, because you can like see him registering it, that even feels like growth, because he's not just in the corner mad punching a wall, he's actually like engaged in the moment and like able to just feel, oh, this is like a nice moment for her. Wonderful. I've been thinking about it ever since the trolls. To be honest, my heart trembled that time. So much dread and excitement at all the miracles you caused, at the art called magic. In this unknown world into which I took my first steps, I was powerless. I just hugged my knees and cowered. But when the time came that I had to protect someone, even one such as I, what gave me that courage was Casca and the magic dagger I got from you. But that is just a silver knife, so to me, the dagger was undeniably magical. Flora said, accept the great mysteries and explore the entire universe from within your world. That is the way of magic. If there is a light of reason that illuminates the unknown darkness, then please, I ask you to impart it to me. It is said that magic is quite unmasterable if one can remember a time when they did not study it. That is because more than any other reason, as a person ages, they become bound by the worldview of the physical world before their eyes, and those prejudices become harder to abolish. It's a very common trope in fantasy magic systems, but one I really like. You have been through some thoroughly dreadful experiences, so that does not seem to be a concern. I am still training myself, but I think I can at least teach the basics. Thank you so much, teacher! Lady Farnese, witch. The witch hunter a witch. So right, to spells. First a foundation. We see a light over Guts' shoulder, and the next panel shows us Sir Pinky atop a mountain, silhouetted by the moon. And that is the end of Deluxe Edition Volume 9. I really actually loved that segment a lot because it gave us more depth to the Kushan. It showed us the factions at play, that war being set up with Griffith and someone who should be subservient to him, but it's like an egotistical demon that's grown bigger than its britches. And on top of that, we have Guts having this like moment, man, it's just a moment. This was a 10 out of 10 section of Berserk and I loved it. Oh my God, I never thought this is nice could be such an emotionally impactful statement. But this has just been your latest episode of Berserk Read Along. Check out the last episode right there if you are interested, and have a good one, y'all. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Peace!